Chris Hilton. You've had a lot of big-time prospects come through your program here over the last half-decade or so. Give us the thumbnail on this guy, man, for those that have never seen him play.
Right. Chris is one of those guys that's extremely athletic, very smooth athlete, tremendous ball skills, tremendous leaping ability. He's an electronic mid 4.5 guy. Breath of fresh air as an athlete, man. You just don't hear him very much. He's not a very loud kid. He's not a arrogant, cocky type guy. Just extremely humble and just a great kid. Very happy that he's come through our program and very happy that he's committed to the Tigers.
I mean, can you remember the first time that you saw him do something when you went, wow?
Yeah, I was at an 8th grade basketball game one time, and he put his armpit on the rim. I thought that was pretty special. And then, he wasn't going to play football. Basketball was always going to kind of be his thing, and kind of convinced him really late to come out and just play with the freshman team over here and just kind of see how it worked out for him. And the second game of the season, our team was playing against our beloved Bears, Matt, and he jumped over a corner in the back of the end zone and one hand caught a touchdown, and I said, we might have something pretty special here.
Oh, man.
So that was the first incredible play I ever saw him make.
Well, the incredible play that everybody saw him make, of course, was the game-winning touchdown against West Monroe in 2018. For those that don't know, it's about 2 minutes left in the state championship game in the Dome. Zachary's trailing, and they throw a bubble screen to, I assume it was a bubble screen, to Hilton, and he houses it about 75 yards to win the state championship. That moment for Chris Hilton, what did that do for him? What did that do for your program?
Well, first of all, it showed what kind of kid he is from the very beginning. This is a sophomore that makes a play like that, and he just kind of runs out the back of the end zone and taps his hand on the wall a couple times and jogs on back to the sideline like nothing just happened. And I'm thinking, you got to be kidding me! I mean, if you put me in that position, I'm punting the ball up in the stands. I can promise you. I mean, this is crazy.
I
right?
believe you.
But no, he from that point forward, I think he began to kind of understand what God blessed him with, and really a tremendous work ethic, and he really began to push forward, beginning in that off season with trying to be a big time recruitable guy, and he's done great ever since.
I know. I remember watching the play. It was incredible to see, and you're right, how it ended with a very humble finish there at the end,
right.
Claiming a state championship. David Brewerton's our guest, head coach at Zachary High. Chris Hilton commits to the Tigers over the weekend. If there is a shortness in his game or a shortcoming, a room for improvement, let's put it that way, where is it?
Well, I think he was going into his junior year. We really put an emphasis on trying to get him to run really crisp, precise routes. And that was something that was going to be something we really focused on during that offseason. And then he has a foot injury in a 7-on-7 game early in the springtime going into his junior year. And so he's out, close to, I think, 5 months. So he didn't have that time to really to get all that taken care of. So he was still, a raw athlete going into his junior year, and we didn't get him back until week 5 of his junior year. So I think that's really been the biggest thing that he's trying to focus on now is just running really precise, crisp routes. And that's the thing that we want to see him take to the next level. And the second thing is I've talked to you about the fact that he is such a quiet, humble guy. Halfway through his sophomore year, we brought him in and said, Chris, look, we understand you're a sophomore, but it's okay to be the guy. You know what I mean? Like it's okay to go out there and be the guy. And I think he's going to need to push forward with that as well. I want him to be more vocal. I want him to take more of a a leadership aspect with the team. And I think he's going to do that, and he's already started to do that. So we're excited about it.
You know, while I got you here, Brew, I got to ask you about Eli Holstein, who's, I mean, speaking of, sophomores taking a big role, he's going to be your quarterback. And I think it's obviously been talked about a bunch that he's got an LSU offer now. You've had a lot of good ones, including Lindsey Scott, who was an LSU signee, come through your program. When you look at Eli Holstein, what do you see there in a kid who's, 16 years old? What do you see in a kid that all of these recruiters are seeing that projects to being a big-time college athlete?
Yeah. I think with Eli, certainly I'll be able to tell you a lot more when I see him take a varsity snap.
Right.
But I think, when you're talking about a kid that's, 6'3" and 210 already with a 38-inch vertical, and a rocket arm, obviously there's great potential there. No question. Eli is also a 4.0 student, tremendous work ethic, and understands the little intricacies of the game. He's going to bring. He's got all the tangibles there, but hopefully he's going to bring those intangibles there that you expect out of a great quarterback. And this coming season we have all 5 guys coming back on the offensive line, and 3 out of our 4 receivers coming back on offense. So we're hoping that with all the experience around him, he can kind of get into the mold of being a great quarterback, with some really experienced guys around him. That's what we're looking for.
David Brewerton, Zachary head football coach. Before you jump, Brew, as far as the season itself, I mean, obviously it's just unprecedented what everybody's dealing with and trying to navigate right now. Where are you and your program as far as what's going to happen? I mean, planning to play? I mean, what are those conversations like on a daily basis?
Well, we treat every day like we're going to play, and that's the way I have to do it. I have to make sure that our guys are prepared and ready to go for day one of the season. And what's been, if you can find a silver lining in this whole thing, it's not real difficult to motivate a guy that when you get to tell him, hey, it could be the last time we're ever here lifting weights. It could be the last time we're ever out here doing some conditioning. We don't know, right? So I think it's been good from that standpoint that we're having a great summer because the guys see their friends that lost baseball seasons. They see their friends that lost the track season in the springtime, and I think it's going to help us focus on not taking things for granted and pushing forward from that aspect. I certainly hope we do. I really do. I just think it's not because I'm a football coach, but just I know what football in the fall means to Louisiana, not just in Zachary, but just in Louisiana as a whole, and what it brings to the table as far as schools are concerned and just teenage kids in general and communities in general. I just think it's huge, and I hope and pray every day that it happens.
Yeah. Brew, I don't want to keep you too long, man, but I just want to follow up is like because you are in a community in Zachary, which is like such a tight-knit community, and the school is so central to it. Do you get a chance, I'm sure you do, but to talk to parents and like get their opinions on if they're comfortable with the season moving forward?
Certainly get a chance to talk to them, and they have thoughts and worries just like everybody else does, but I think when you begin to really talk to them, and different ones have different opinions, but at some point they say, but you know what, we have to move on with our life. We cannot allow this thing just to completely shut down our country and shut down our way of life on a daily basis. I mean, obviously the precautions are there that you can take and try to do things better, but what are we going to do at that point? I mean, you can't just sit back and say, well, I don't know, nothing's going to happen, we'll just see. No, you can't do that. I mean, you got to push forward and do the things that we got to do as human beings, right? Yeah. And that's the biggest thing for me right now. It's a terrible situation that people are dealing with right now. I really understand that, but I also believe you got to live life.
Well said, man. Hey, Brew, I'm pumped for you, man. I'm so happy for all your success there at Zachary that you had with the program, and look forward to hopefully getting to watch your team play this fall, man. I think we're all planning on it, and I'll look forward to it.
That would be wonderful, man. We sure appreciate it.
All right, Brew, we'll see you, man.
Thanks, bud.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.